Hello everybody, it's Mike Levin. Tuesday, December 6th, 2016 at around 8:20 or so a.m. and I'm heading out to the office, running a little late as usual. I still got to get better at that. I make it up on the tail end whenever I need to. But the important thing is to get the work done that needs to be done. And I'm going to be shifting into essentially a new phase of my life now that I am a weekend dad, and I have a lot of raw material to work with in the form of time, such as it were. I have a really long commute on each side. It totals up to an hour and 20 minutes after the walking parts of it, in sort of three legs each direction. This leg to the subway to my office, or subway to Midtown to my office, and there's a 20-minute walk in there too. So I'm going to be eliminating a lot of that commute and making even more time into good raw material, because what you can do in those time stretches is very much determined by the situation you're in, your environment, whether you're sitting on the subway, whether you're walking, or whether it's actually time where you can, say, sit and focus and add it to a larger continuous block of time that you've carved out for yourself, which is how you get the big things done on your checklist, because some things are too ambitious to fit into scraps of time. So right now, all my discretionary time for myself is of the category of scraps of time here and there, which means large projects never get done. That's a problem. So I've been talking with my daughter earlier each evening, which frees up the evening, which I've been using to actually go to sleep earlier, get more rest, and be more refreshed in the morning. And what that lets me do is to get some stuff done in the morning. I'm not late from oversleeping. I'm late from using those scraps of time wherever I can find them, because my energy is best in the morning. And I will hopefully have better scraps of time at night, and I'll be using a lot of those bits of time, like this walk to the subway, to just capture my thoughts and organize, because those thoughts are going to gradually build up on each other and refine and shape and become my book or my online product or whatever, which essentially is applying Python in particular to everyday life, from learning in the first place, learning how to read, learning how to write. And a lot of people throw in, arithmetic is the third R, and then they throw in as an honorary fourth R things such as programming, coding, reasoning, logic, and I shall too. But I'm going to call it what it is. It's automation. It's not just logic. We're not just talking about making, simple calculators, answer getters. We're talking about automating things in your environment to do things for you, to work on your behalf. So really, my thing is teaching people how to automate. And that automation could be any number of things today and in the future, from, mobile apps to robots and embedded into things so that you can make them turn on and off and be part of the automated home, blah, blah. And so the purpose of this video is to sort of lay out my first tenet or foundation of how I'm going to use Python in everyday life, and that is to organize my thinking. And Python has a data object model, which is just awesome. It comes fully baked in as things you can start using in Python as soon as you get into any Python code execution environment. There's no imports or anything. You can use lists, tuples, dictionaries, and I guess normal character strings and normal numbers. So these things can be nested in each other arbitrarily, a lot like JavaScript object notation or JSON. So these things naturally lend themselves to being components of solutions to problems. So I shall call my daily problem or task or routine is getting 4 things done. List, a list of 4 things. Do they need to be name value or key value pairs? No, I don't think so. Just a list. Well, is it always 4 things? Perhaps it should be a tuple. Well, I don't want to lock myself into that sort of inflexibility. Some days I might say today deserves a 5th item, or I'm only going to put 3 on the list, and that should be valid. So sort of an external business logic piece is going to be, oh, I'm going to try and just do 4. So I will visualize them as 4 dots on the side, each corner of a square, or I'm going to do a square, and I'll put a dot in each corner, like the 4 side of dice. And I'll put a task in each of those corners to visualize it, and each day is one of those squares. And then every time I finish it, that's somewhere in where I'm tracking things I achieved each day. So that's where I'll begin. Each day is a list, but only 4 items in the list, although that's an arbitrary decision that is not implicit in looking at what this code is going to be. So I'll write this code, and you can follow along, and this will be building up a very basic Python education for everyday life from scratch, from the beginning. Thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you again soon, and don't forget to subscribe.